John Stewart back in the studio here with my good old friend Stephen Colbert. The next segment of our recap of the 2011-2012 school year deals with the United States and some of our friends, our foreign policy. Now, in the last year or so, we've seen a shift in United States foreign policy, especially with the war on terror, where, as President Obama promised, we did successfully see all the troops removed from Iraq, and they've started to come home. Good to see. Troops are coming back.
The war on terror, known as the Global War on Terror, is a war on terrorism that is ongoing, international, with a military campaign led by the USA, with the support of NATO and non-NATO countries.
Exactly. So, I couldn't have said that better myself, Stephen. Basically, what's going on here is the war on terror. As President Obama previously stated, he did kill bin Laden, and we're all very happy about that. But now, there's been mixed feelings about President Obama withdrawing all the troops, and some question whether or not if it was a military strategy or a political strategy. Isn't that right, Stephen?
That's right.
Critics say that he's just doing it to help him win a second term, which, by the looks of it seems to be working. Anyway, whether or not withdrawing all the troops from Iraq is the best decision tactically, only time will tell. However, on the contrary, it is very realistic that in 6 months from now, we have utter chaos throughout the Middle East. I mean, people running crazy because there's no leaders, there's no, things just going crazy. There's no military there's no United States military presence to keep order, etc.
Alright, so let's talk about another foreign policy issue we have here. Why don't we talk about Coney 2012?
Coney? Listen, Coney, if you're watching this cast right now, I have one thing to say to you. Turn off your damn television, because you don't deserve to look at this face. I'm sorry, Stephen. I don't like
Coney 2012.
I don't like Coney, Stephen. I don't like him.
I understand. The U.S. Senate has recently just sent troops to northern Uganda to help with the issues dealing with Coney 2012.
For those of you who don't know, Uganda is a country in Africa. So can we pull up the map? Yeah. Oh, this just in. We don't have a map. Sorry. All right, proceed, Stephen. Man running around Africa is abducting little kids. All right? He's just taking them from their houses. I'm talking 10-year-olds, putting assault rifles in their hands and telling them to go wreak havoc on Uganda. He's making a little rebel army and just having them run craziness throughout the streets of Uganda.
Kidnapping them from their homes, giving them weapons, and killing their own families is just...
What 10-year-old should be holding an assault rifle?
I don't even know.
Proceed. Tell us about Coney, Stephen. Coney is such a... Oh, man. Coney, seriously, if you're watching this, turn off. You don't deserve... Honestly, there's a special place in you-know-where for you. Alright? That's all I gotta say. And I'm glad to see that President Obama is doing the right thing and sending troops in there. Hopefully we can take him down. I mean, he has such a... there's such a fear among the Ugandan people that they're so afraid of him that no one wants to really do anything about it. And that's not the way it should be. Coney needs to be stopped, needs to be taken down, and needs to be dealt with. Denis Donovan here back in the studio, and I'm joined with my immigration correspondent, Brian Mazza, and your president, Barack Hussein Obama. So, gentlemen, let's talk about immigration the last year. Immigration has skyrocketed. We've had one of the largest increases this last year in several years. Obama, what have you done in regards to immigration? What's your take on this immigration boom?
I've been getting blamed. There have been young illegal immigrants who have been saying that I have done little enough to diminish the threat of deporting immigrants back to their home countries. And now these immigrants have started a campaign against me to use executive powers to stay legal in this country. This campaign led by these students is called the United We Dream Network, and it's the largest organization of young immigrants here illegally who would be eligible for legal status under a proposal in Congress known as the DREAM Act, and they're using this DREAM Act to try and become legal in the country.
Young people are among the most visible activists as a growing immigrant movement. Their push to focus pressure on the White House reflects deep frustration with Congress for its lack of action on the legislation and the administration for continuing to deport illegal immigrant students, although Mr. Obama says he supports them.
This week, student leaders presented in the White House a letter signed by more than 90 immigrant students and law professors who argued that the president, myself, has clear executive authority to halt deportations or illegal immigrants who might benefit from the student legislation.
So these students are for immigration, or are they looking to deport illegals?
They are looking to make themselves legal and stop deportations.
So they're anti-deportation.
Yes.
Now I ask you, how do you feel about illegal immigrants? Don't you feel like there should be, before they have any rights and they can start signing these, don't they have to be citizens?
Yeah, I feel that they have to be citizens before they can even be legal in the country. It's only fair to everyone else who is a citizen of the United States.
And then, like we talked about before with your Obamacare program, we don't want to extend our health care to these illegals. Because then those people who need this health care are suffering. That's no good.
The professors from the universities across the country pointed to several measures that myself could either take to create new laws to defer deportations and permit young immigrants to stay temporarily.
Why are they always trying to tell you how to do your job, Mr. President?
I have no clue.
I mean, that's just not right to me. I mean, you got elected president. Let you do your job. I know you're a professor and everything, but God. Sheesh. So anyway, as we were saying, I feel like immigration, this how it's increased exponentially the last year has just been, I think it speaks volumes for America itself. And just how we're really, this all has to get edited out because I don't know where I'm going with this.
They're trying to use their DREAM Act, their proposal, that would give them legal status to foreign-born high school graduates that have came to the United States illegally as children. And if they complete 2 years of college or military service, Mr. Obama, myself, would be able to push Congress to pass legislation in 2012. It passed the House, but was blocked by Republicans in the Senate.
Those Republicans, good for nothing. They always try and rain on your parade. Every time you get a good idea, they're there to, bam, veto. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I'm kind of aggravated.
It's frustrating. I think Mitt's up to something. Mitt is definitely trying to, sabotage, the good of the people.
I know. There's been a lot of opposition to the measure since the growing Republican Party and their nominee Mitt Romney has said that they would veto some versions of this issue.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I guess it's we're on the right direction. It's we're heading in the right direction towards solving the immigration issue, and I think as long as we can get the right plans in action, then we should be okay.
Totally agree. Thanks for all your help.
Mr. Obama, pleasure meeting you, Mr. Obama. This is our CBS correspondent, Brian Mazza. We'll be right back with the sports section, all right, after this commercial break. And we're back here at CNN, CBS Sports. And what newscast were we?
CBS.
All right. We're back here at CBS, and we've come upon our final segment here, and we're going to talk a little sports, because, who doesn't like sports, all right? Now, in the last year, there's been a lot of hot topics around professional sports. I mean, let's start most recently with the NFL with the Saints bounty program and suspensions, fines, allegations, all just totally running throughout the Saints organization, finger pointing. I mean, it's crazy. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Saints coaching staff was accused of putting bounties on players such as Brett Favre and others, and would offer wages and bonuses as high as $10,000 for their defensive players to knock out said players on the other team. Jonathan Vilma has already been suspended for the entire season. The Saints coach Sean Payton has already been suspended for the entire season. And the Saints defensive coordinator, who is now a coach in St. Louis, has been suspended indefinitely from the NFL. So we'll see how things turn out. But Obama, you're a big sports fan.
Yeah.
You love sports. What do you think about this? Do you think it takes away some of the integrity?
Yeah, I definitely feel it takes away some integrity. But on a side note, what do you think about the NFL player Junior Seau killing himself this year?
I mean, I think there's something to be said. I mean, we hear experts say all the time that the constant concussions and etc. and it's just his head banging for 10+ seasons, just it messes with your head. And these guys come out of the NFL, they retire, they're depressed, and Junior Seau unfortunately is not the first great NFL player we've seen take his own life, and I think it's sad. I think a lot of research needs to be done. I hope that they study his brain and see maybe there's something that we're missing.
Yeah, definitely, I agree
Truly
with that.
a sad day in sports. I mean, one of the best to play the game.
Let's move on to another famous figure, Tim Tebow. What's your take on him?
Tim Tebow, he's a Jet now. I mean, being a New York fan, I love Tim Tebow. I mean, I love the Jets. I just, I hope it works out. I mean, I don't know why you'd bring in a quarterback like that, when you have Mark Sanchez. I mean, hopefully it'll make Sanchez play better. I mean, he didn't play well last season.
No,
we know
not
that,
at all.
We know that, don't we, Mr. Obama? But here's another issue I'd like to talk about real briefly. Now, we all know the economy hasn't been, it's been a little. So anyway, LA Dodgers bankrupt. The LA Dodgers went bankrupt and were sold for $2 billion.
Wow.
I mean, what do you think of that? This is one of the most prominent sports teams in North America.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
And just bankrupt. I mean, it's sad, but hopefully the new management will get the Dodgers back on the right boat. They have an awesome core: Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, James Loney. A lot of guys down there who can, I think contribute in a few years. Clayton Kershaw has been pitching great this year, so we'll see how things pan out down in LA. Hopefully, the new management will get them back on track. And our last
finishing off with
the
college football, our Penn State Joe Paterno scandal.
I wanted to talk about this for a little. Sad day, and Obama just Mr. President, I want to ask you how you feel about this, but I feel personally that, I mean, we all know what's been going on with the Penn State football scandal, and now, unfortunately, college football lost a great coach, probably one of the best all time, in Joe Paterno. He died. But now, real quick, before we sign off, his legacy, in your eyes, do you think he goes down a winner, or is his, legacy forever tainted? What do you think about that, Mr. President?
I think he was a winner until this scandal, and now his reputation is tainted.
Yeah. See, I feel differently. I feel that, given the circumstances, and the facts around the case, I mean, he did go to higher authority. I mean, I love Joe Pa, and I'd like to believe that, it didn't happen, that I wish it didn't. I wish it didn't go down this way, but it did, and it's really, really unfortunate that he has to go out this way. And may he rest in peace. And I hope that he finds himself in the College Football Hall of Fame. I really do.
Me too.
Mr. President, by the way, I'd like to also congratulate you on your March Madness bracket, picking Kentucky as the winner.
Thank you.
That was a very clutch pick, Mr. President. That's why he does what he does. That's why we pay him the big bucks. This is Dennis Donovan. I'd like to thank all my correspondents: Brian Mazza, Prateek, Khurana, President Barack Obama, Jon Stewart, and Stephen Colbert. All you guys. Stephen, say hello. Okay. All right, guys. Pleasure. Signing off. Stay classy, San Diego.
Peace!